Hello and welcome to episode 392 of the AI Brief. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah.
We have a really significant show ahead of us today. We're breaking down three headline stories that are fundamentally altering the landscape.
They really are.
We're looking at a viral coding tool that is rattling the stock market as we speak.
Then there's a new watchdog organization, which is fascinating because it's funded by the very insiders it's supposed to scrutinize.
And finally, a huge economic index report that seems to challenge everything we thought we knew about AI and, job displacement.
It's a rare day when the data so clearly contradicts the prevailing narrative. I mean, you have market panic in one corner, intense vigilance on safety in another, and then unexpected collaboration in the actual workforce.
Let's start with that market story because the numbers are demanding attention. We're seeing a pretty sharp sell-off in traditional software stocks.
Specifically in the SaaS sector, yeah.
Investors are fleeing major players like Intuit, Adobe, Salesforce. And the catalyst for all this anxiety appears to be Anthropic's Claude Code.
It is effectively a ChatGPT moment for the software engineering world. Claude Code has absolutely gone viral among developers and hobbyists just in the last week or so.
And while it's technically a coding assistant, I'm hearing a new term for this trend.
Selfware. The industry is already starting to rebrand this shift as the rise of selfware.
Selfware. That's a fascinating term. It implies a departure from the model we've all gotten used to, where we rely on third-party vendors for our digital tools.
Precisely. For the last, 2 decades, the dominant model has been software as a service. If a business needed a tool, they subscribed. You just rented the capability.
Right.
Selfware suggests a democratization of creation, where the barrier to building bespoke software just collapses. If you need a specific tool, you just ask the AI to build it for you.
And the market reaction suggests this is being viewed as a legitimate threat to those established business models. The Morgan Stanley SaaS Index is down 15% year to date.
The concern is rooted in what some are calling existential AI fears, specifically around that recurring revenue model.
Of course.
SaaS companies have these sky-high valuations because investors bank on customers paying that monthly subscription fee, indefinitely. But if an AI can generate a custom-owned solution for a fraction of the cost, the whole economic logic of renting software starts to look pretty weak.
It effectively transforms software from a service you rent into a commodity you generate on demand.
And we have concrete examples driving this sentiment. This isn't just theory. The CTO of Vercel, which is a major cloud platform, he shared publicly that he completed a project in 1 week using Claude.
A project that would have normally taken how long?
A full year?
Wow. A year-long project crunched into a single week? That's a 50-fold increase in efficiency.
It's staggering. And there's another report of a CEO who completely scrapped plans to hire new engineers because the tool made him personally 5 times more productive.
But it's not just the corporate sphere, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing the long tail of software come to life.
That's maybe the most interesting part. Hobbyists are building these incredibly niche applications that would never, ever justify venture capital funding.
I think I saw a custom MRI viewer someone built, and even a fully automated system for self-sustaining tomato growth.
That tomato growth system is the perfect example. No software company would ever build that product. The market is just too small. But in a selfware world, market size is irrelevant.
If an individual needs it, they can just bring it into existence.
Exactly. So the industry is now grappling with this question. Is this a temporary hype cycle? Or is this the beginning of a real disruption where everyone becomes a builder?
And if everyone's a builder, the premium on prepackaged tools, it just has to drop. Okay, let's pivot to our second major story. This one concerns the governance of these powerful models. We need to talk about AVR.
Yes, this is a really significant development in the safety landscape. AVERI is a new nonprofit organization, and it was launched by Miles Brundage.
And for context, Brundage was the former policy lead at OpenAI until he left back in October 2024.
Right, and his departure was very notable because it coincided with OpenAI dissolving its AGI readiness team.
He made a statement at the time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He stated that no frontier labs were, in his view, adequately prepared when it came to safety. So AVR is his answer to that gap. The organization's mission is to establish independent third-party audits of frontier AI models.
The implication being that the current system of, self-regulation isn't cutting it.
The status quo is essentially grading your own homework. The labs conduct their own safety tests and certify their own models. Brundage and AVERI are arguing for a move away from that self-certification toward real external scrutiny.
Now, what really stands out of the story is where AVI is getting its funding.
This is a critical detail. The institute is funded in large part by donations from current and former employees of the leading AI labs.
So people from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google.
Exactly. Brundage even noted that these donors know where the bodies are buried.
That phrasing, I mean, that suggests a pretty significant level of concern for the people who are closest to the technology.
It indicates that those building the models see a need for oversight that the public might not yet fully appreciate. And it's important to note, AVRI won't be conducting the audits themselves.
Oh, okay. So they're not the auditors.
No, they'll operate more like a think tank to establish the audit standards. They're basically writing the rule book that other auditors will use. They're defining what safe actually means in a measurable way.
And they've already published something on this.
They have. It's a framework called AI Assurance Levels. It ranges from a level 1, which represents the current state of self-testing, all the way up to level 4.
And what's level 4?
They describe it as treaty-grade international verification.
Treaty grade. That implies a level of rigor comparable to, what, nuclear non-proliferation agreements.
It signals a desire for a regime where international bodies can actually verify compliance, rather than just relying on the word of the companies themselves. The big question, of course, will be whether the major labs agree to adopt these standards voluntarily.
A huge question. Moving to our third deep dive topic, we have Anthropic's 2026 Economic Index. And this report offers a data-driven look at how AI is actually being used in the workforce.
Yes, based on an analysis of 2 million Claude chats. So this data set lets us move beyond just speculation and look at actual user behavior.
And the core finding seems to contradict that common fear that AI is just a replacement engine.
Overwhelmingly, yes. The data shows that usage most closely resembles collaboration, not replacement.
So the narrative of mass displacement isn't matching what's happening on the ground.
Well, AI is now handling about a quarter of tasks in nearly half of the jobs they tracked, which is a big increase from last year. But full role replacement, where a human is just entirely removed from the loop, that's happening at fewer than 10% of firms.
So the workforce is adapting, not vanishing. What about the efficiency gains? The report highlighted some substantial numbers there.
They're huge. For tasks requiring, say, high school level skills, AI completion is 9 times faster. For college level tasks, it's 12 times faster.
That kind of acceleration just fundamentally changes the economics of labor, doesn't it?
It does. And we're also seeing these agentic capabilities mature. The success rate for what they call long tasks, so continuous work streams lasting up to 19 hours, has now hit 50%.
Meaning the AI isn't just answering a single prompt, it's actually executing a job from start to finish.
Right. And the report notes that augmentation has overtaken pure automation as the main use case. People are using these tools to learn, to get feedback, to iterate on their work.
But there's a specific structural risk identified in the report that we need to talk about. It has to do with junior employees.
This is the grunt work paradox.
The grunt work paradox. Explain that.
Well, AI is increasingly handling all the basic tasks, summarizing things, writing first drafts, basic coding that have traditionally served as the training grounds for junior staff. That drudgery was how you gained experience.
So if the AI handles all the entry-level work, the ladder for new entrants effectively loses its bottom rungs.
It creates a pipeline problem. We're seeing these amazing immediate productivity gains, but we risk hollowing out the workforce capability of the future.
Companies might just stop hiring juniors because the AI is faster.
But without juniors, there's no path to developing senior talent down the line. It's a real structural challenge that efficiency alone just can't solve. It suggests we need to completely rethink how we train and onboard the next generation of professionals.
We've covered the deep dive topics. Now let's shift our pacing a bit. We have a variety of other significant developments from across the industry today.
Let's take a moment to look at the broader ecosystem, starting with a platform that connects directly to our earlier discussion on selfware.
That would be Vibe Code. They've rolled out what they're calling the first full-stack Vibe coding platform, and it's powered by that same Claude Code technology we were just talking about.
This tool transforms plain English prompts into fully functional web and mobile applications with, believe it or not, one-click deployment. And the adoption rate really highlights the demand here. Over 5,000 apps have already been published on it.
It's just more confirmation that the technical barrier to creating software is dissolving.
Now, turning to financials, OpenAI has released some frankly staggering numbers regarding their 2025 performance.
I saw this. The CFO, Sarah Fryer, reports OpenAI crossed $20 billion in annual recurring revenue in 2025.
And that represents a roughly 233% jump from the previous year. To support that massive scale, their compute capacity has expanded from 0.6 to 1.9 gigawatts.
Yeah. The energy requirements are scaling just as fast as the revenue. The company is also signaling a bit of a strategic pivot.
They are. They're moving toward practical adoption in fields like health and science. And perhaps most intriguingly, they are preparing to launch a physical device later this year. Moving from software to hardware is a major transition to watch.
In the world of image generation, we have an update from Black Forest Labs. They've released Flex.2 Klein.
This release consists of two open-source models, one at 4 billion and another at 9 billion parameters. The main feature here is speed. These models can generate images in under half a second on modern hardware.
And the licensing is important here, too.
Very important. The 4 billion parameter version is licensed under Apache 2.0, which allows for free commercial use. That's a significant play for enterprise adoption.
ZAI also has an update focused on efficiency with a new release.
They have launched GLM-4.7 Flash. It's a 30 billion parameter variant of their open source model. It focuses entirely on speed and efficiency and is currently leading benchmarks in its size class.
And looking at the global market projections, Gartner has released new data for the coming year.
They're projecting that worldwide AI spending will reach $2.52 trillion in 2026. That is a 44% increase, and it's driven primarily by infrastructure buildouts as companies lay the physical groundwork for these technologies.
We also have a few notable global and corporate updates. South Korea is holding a national AI competition.
That's right. The goal is to identify their top homegrown models. You have major conglomerates like LG and SK competing alongside startups like Upstage, which really highlights the national strategic importance of sovereign AI.
And Anthropic released some interesting research about a peculiar behavior in long context chats.
They found that during extended sessions, an AI can sometimes slip into playing a character, effectively forgetting its role as an assistant. This sort of role-playing can lead to harmful responses. They have introduced a fix, but it does highlight the complexity of managing context over long durations.
And finally, there's a personnel change at xAI.
An engineer, Suleiman Gori, has left the company. This followed a viral interview he gave about the startup's inner workings, and it just serves as a reminder of the very tight information security culture inside these major labs.
That concludes our news roundup. Let's move to the practical side of things with today's trending AI tools.
We've got a list of tools that are gaining a lot of traction right now.
First on the list is GLM-4.7 Flash.
This is that ZAI model we just mentioned. It's really the go-to for developers who need a fast, efficient open source model that balances performance with a low compute cost.
Next is TranslateGemma.
This is Google's new family of open source translation models. It's designed for developers who need to integrate high-quality translation directly into local applications, without external dependencies.
We also have Claude Code.
Of course. This is Anthropic's deep context coding assistant. It's the engine behind that selfware trend we discussed, enabling both developers and non-coders to build complex software.
Next up is Scribe V2.
This one is from 11 Labs. It's their state-of-the-art transcription model, offering very high accuracy speech-to-text for documentation and media applications.
For productivity, there's Lynote.
This tool summarizes content and instantly creates notes. It's very useful for students or professionals who need to distill large volumes of information quickly.
And similarly, there's NoteitHub.
This one focuses more on actionability. It turns your GPT chats into to-do lists, journals, and reminders. It really bridges that gap between a conversation and actual task management.
For visual creatives, we have GLM-Image.
This allows for professional image editing using just text prompts, so you can modify existing images rather than only generating new ones from scratch.
And finally, Crevid.
This is a generative tool for creating both videos and images from either text or image inputs, really streamlining asset creation for content producers.
That brings us to the end of today's deep dive.
We've covered a significant amount of ground, from the disruption of software economics all the way to the shifting dynamics of the workforce.
If you found this briefing valuable, please follow the show on your podcast platform and share it with a colleague.